When Bill Kelleher was a student at Putnam High School in the late 1940s, his football and track successes were achieved on the same playing surface, which also included the school's baseball diamond. Each spring, the quarter-mile track oval was laid out in pulverized lime over the still visible yard markers of the fall football season. These Spartan accommodations were obviously not an obstruction. Bill's accomplishments in both sports paved the way for not only high school and college glory, but were a springboard to a coaching career that impacted the lives of so many other athletes that he coached and tutored. While he was born in the neighboring town of Killingley, the family moved to Woodstock Avenue in Putnam when Bill was a youngster. A certain future loss for the Killingley Redmen and a major gain for the Putnam High School Clippers. A high school track highlight was placing second in the state open 100-yard dash to future Olympic champion Lindy Remigino. In addition to being named Best Male Athlete in the Putnam High School graduating class of 1949, Bill also claimed the title of Best Personality, which he shared with Joy Wild. It was a relationship which started over feuding for male versus female gymnasium usage, finally reached a compromise that led to a prom date and culminated in a wedding in 1950. Once his impressive high school days were over, it was on to Brown University in Providence, where he played football and ran track for the 1 year that he spent there. Track success continued as he was part of the Brown 440-yard relay team that finished second in the Ivy League championship meet. While a student at Brown, Bill realized that his calling was in education and Brown was not able to meet his curriculum needs, so he transferred to the University of Connecticut. The transition to Storrs only added to the running accomplishments. He established a new Connecticut record at that time in the 220-yard dash, and his name was etched on the record board in UConn's fieldhouse. Graduation from UConn as an education major brought Bill to his first teaching and coaching assignment at East Hartford High School. The impact of his coaching philosophy was felt immediately by those he tutored. Bill Humphreys, former East Hartford High track athlete, who turned cyclist and future U.S. Olympian, spoke of Kelleher's training techniques and specific workouts to benefit each individual. The lure of the college campus and the shortened ride from their Coventry home brought him back to Storrs as head track coach and associate professor in the 1960s, and it was here that the impressive coaching resume took flight. Bill's track highlights at UConn included several Yankee Conference championships, an undefeated season, the Big East's first ever championship team, the development of several athletes who became Yankee Conference and New England championships, 8 All-Americans, and 1 who competed in the Olympics. It all led to being named New England Coach of the Year in 1981.
Yeah, I think that what I learned from him is that the athletes had to do the work, had to be involved in doing the drills, doing everything that goes into improving. And those are the things that I did when I got to Montville High School and had some championship teams. And then when I got to NFA, I became the jumps coach, the long and triple jump coach, and had a lot of kids who, we had double L record holder in the long jump and the triple jump. Two different athletes, and got them to understand doing the drills, doing the things that I learned from Bill Kelleher.
Equally impressive as his coaching accomplishments was the impact that he had on his athletes that carried beyond the field of competition. Former East Hartford athlete George Suter referred to Bill as the father figure he needed at a desperate time in his life. Current UConn Board of Trustees member and a 4-time Division I All-American under Bill, Andy Passett spoke of the welcoming and supportive atmosphere that Coach Kelleher created with emphasis on the strong principles of community, hard work, striving to excel, and his constant ethical approach. Bill Parkston, co-captain of the 1973 Yukon team, nearly flunked out of school after his first semester and lost eligibility to compete. Instead of casting him aside, Coach lined up tutors to right the academic ship, allowing him to regain eligibility. He stated, "If not for Bill Kelleher, my life would be a lot different today." Following his 22-year stay at Yukon, Bill was set to retire, at least from his track and field career, but it was not to be. Suter, now Trinity College track head, coached him to serve as his jumps coach on a part-time basis. Bill promised he would give George 3 years. The commitment stretched to 20 before he decided to pack it in again. But while the teaching of track-related techniques phased out, many other interests gained momentum. What followed was 20 years of volunteer work at the Covenant Food Kitchen as a distributor, a long and active association and major fundraiser with the Coventry Lions, including 8 years as president, and involvement with the Special Olympics, which led to Bill being honored by Eunice Kennedy Shriver in 1985. As Bill once indicated, he and Joy put an addition on their Coventry home for 2 reasons: to establish a bed and breakfast, which helped pay the bills, but of equal importance, to create more space for the number of dolls that Joy had accumulated for her antique collection, which was proudly displayed at the annual Doll and Toy fundraising show. In addition to wife Joy, Bill's family included daughter Ellen and sons Bruce, Brian, and Barry. Family remembrances include Bill donning a wig, occasionally for no reason, parading around in a bathing suit which had seen its better days, and the numerous gatherings at North River Road of current and past athletes, but most especially the frequent family trips to Maine for much-needed relaxation.
I think the biggest memories I have were when we go up to Maine for the summertime, because they bought a camp up there in the early 70s, and we'd spend like 4, 5, 6 weeks up there sometimes early on, because back then he would get the summers off from Yukon, and those were some of the greatest memories.
Over the years, Bill acquired an extensive collection of personal sports-related mementos. After his passing in 2023, Joy felt these should be returned to where it all started, his hometown of Putnam. Former athlete, coach, and longtime friend Kevin Crowley presented the memorabilia articles to Putnam's Aspenach Historical Society so that the memory of his achievements would be kept alive.
He was dedicated to the athletes at Yukon. At Trinity, I'm sure the same thing's happening, but he was also dedicated to his community, to his family. Everything he did was almost selfless, and he did a lot of good things for a lot of people.
Hartford Courant reporter John Linder has had the opportunity to interview many prominent individuals in government and business, including senators, governors, a presidential candidate, and many others in their established field. He stated, "None of them was ever more deserving of respect, a better citizen, or a nicer human being than Bill Kelleher." His placement on the Wall of Honor will also guarantee that current and future students will have a constant reminder of not only Bill Kelleher's longtime achievements in athletics, but of equal importance, the huge impact that he had on the lives of those who were fortunate enough to experience his guidance and friendship.